how are y'all? I am back for another paranormal vlog. So, let's talk paranormal, shall we? Anyway, this one is going to be kind of a request. On my first Let's Talk Paranormal video, I got a comment from a very nice person. I don't know your actual name. Your username is Paranormal Researcher. And once I post this, I will let you know that I posted it because you asked me to do this. It is the Dark Spirits tag. I've not heard of this one yet. I've heard of just like the paranormal tag, and no, I haven't done it, but I have heard of that one. I haven't heard of this one though. It's pretty interesting, and I fear that this may be a little bit of a letdown for you because I don't have it really that many interesting stories for it, but let's get to it. Anyway, the first question is, do I have any experience with dark spirits? Well, I'm gonna say yes. Well, this actually probably mostly centered around the same event, which is the main one I have involving anything that may be dark spirits. And I'm not entirely sure if it'll count with what you're referring to, because the only event I can think about that I've had with dark spirits, and I mean, I'm doing air quotes, you'll see why, because it's not like I'm facing it or anything, but I have had an experience with sleep paralysis, and I plan to make a separate video on that. But any of you that have experienced that, it is a very terrifying thing. And it wasn't just I woke up and I couldn't move. The experience I had did involve something that I would call dark spirits. And one of the questions kind of leans on that, so I'll explain it more when I get to that question, because if I go ahead and explain it now, it'll kind of ruin that question, I guess. So anyway, do I have experiences with dark spirits? I would say yes. Really only one experience, so. The second question, have you ever noticed any unexplained scratches or claw marks or been attacked by a ghost? Not that I'm aware of. I do often find unexplained scratches or marks, but that very well could be just because I'm a klutz. I don't know if they're really considered anything that could be a ghost or dark spirit. I do get random things popping up on me all the time, but I get scratches and bruises and stuff all the time at work, and I don't notice them till later, or like if I'm using hand sanitizer and ow, suddenly there's something burning. That's not really a question I can very well answer either. I do get unexplained scratches and marks on me quite often. No, I can't say they're by a dark spirit, because I don't know. I mean, I don't always notice them right when they happen, so I can't even tell you what they're from. And if so, where did you find the marks? Arms usually, occasionally on my legs, usually my arms. Also, the kind of second part to the second question that I kind of went over, as far as I'm aware, I've never been attacked by a ghost. Number 4 is, have you ever had any bad dreams or visions that you were the subject of a ritual or surrounded by dark figures? If so, what was the dream or the dreams about? What were the figures trying to do to you? That is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about, that I would answer more of my kind of dream, kind of sleep paralysis thing. One night, it was back at the place I used to live. I'll talk a little bit about it in my UFO video, if any of you have seen it. And I was sleeping, as per usual, I do at night. I think it was about 3 o'clock. It was right after 3 or something that I woke up, because once I was actually able to move and actually woke up and got up, I was like looking at my phone and stuff, trying to calm down because I was pretty freaked out. I looked at my phone, it was after 3 o'clock. So it was pretty early in the morning. but I don't recall having an actual, like, really dream before this happened. But I woke up just enough, like, when you experience sleep paralysis, for me anyway, I'm awake, but I'm kind of in a haze, and I cannot move, which is, I think, the most common thing of sleep paralysis. That's why it's called sleep paralysis. And I cannot move, and it is terrifying in and of itself. But this particular instance, I have actually experienced that a few times, sleep paralysis. But this particular experience, when I woke up, like, I wasn't having a dream before this. I mean, this may have been part of a dream. I don't know. But at the end, like, I was laying in my bed. I was facing that way. Like, I was laying on this side, and I was facing that way. And, like, I had kind of, like, turned over onto my back, and standing at this end, like, the left end, were these two little girls. And they were both, like, in these, like, cream-colored dresses. And they were, like I said, little girls. They were little baby children. Twins, I guess, because I remember, even though, like, shrouded in darkness, they looked alike from what I could tell. I can't really remember, which is going to sound kind of weird with what I'm about to say, I can't really remember their faces. I do remember, like, a feeling of just, like, they're twins. And they had dark hair, bangs, and, like, from what I could see, which, again, is really strange considering it was pretty dark, and, I mean, they had dark hair, and they were kind of in the corner, because where my bed was positioned in my old room, it was almost kind of in a corner, or, like, the wall went like this, and then it went back, and had a little kind of cubby, almost, and my bed was, like, right here, so the edge of it was at this, like, little cubby area, so it was kind of like a corner, and it was dark, but I did have a TV that I always kept on, and it was on this side, so, like, when I laid on this side, I was facing the TV, and it kind of illuminated the rest, but it wasn't, like, super bright, because it was a small TV. It wasn't, like, a big flat screen or anything. I mean, it was just a small TV, because I never really spent much time in that room, except when I was sleeping, so I didn't need anything big. And it was just, always just kept that TV on for a little bit of noise and light, because I don't like the dark. I could see that their hair, like, it was kind of pulled back just on top, and, like, they had, like I said, they had bangs, and it was just, like, pulled back like this, and, like, pinned back, and then the rest of it was down. It was pretty long, and it's kind of like an old-timey type children's dress, like, with the collar and the lace and stuff. That's what they were wearing. I couldn't see how long they were, because, I mean, they were standing by my bed. They were just standing there, staring at me. That's terrifying. So not only am I experiencing this sleep paralysis shit, but I have these two little girls staring at me. I wasn't exactly surrounded by dark figures, but there were two of them, and they were sitting there staring at me. And they never said anything. I mean, I was trying to wake myself up. I was awake enough to know that I needed to wake myself up. That I needed to get up. I remember this very deep, like, intense feeling of, like, menace. That I do not feel like these little girls were there for anything other than something malicious. I mean, it was not, I mean, I'm getting chills right now talking about it. Because that was a really, like, truly terrifying moment for me, and, I mean, it freaked me out for a while. I mean, it still freaks me out if I think about it too much. I wasn't, like, really touch on that, but I wasn't woke up being surrounded by anything, but I feel like this kind of goes along with this, like, this whole tag, even though this wasn't a question in the tag. This wasn't a sleep paralysis moment, but one time, it was either in my old house that I was just talking about, or the house I lived in for like the house I grew up in. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the one that I lived in right before I moved here. It was not like a sleep paralysis thing, but I did, like, as I was waking up, or either I got woken up by it. There was this, like, really, yeah, it was in that house, because it was before I moved my bed to how it was, how I was explaining right by the cubby. It was actually turned, and the head of my bed was against that cubby wall. Like, my bed was kind of in that little cubby area, and the head of my bed was against that wall. Woken up by this, like, really deep, demonic sounding growl. I'm sure it's what woke me up. This, like, that has a place in this tag, because move on so I can actually stay on this tag instead of going off on some kind of tangent. Did you notice any particular health problems at any time during these encounters? If so, what were they? Not that I'm aware of. I don't remember that, no. I have had a lot of problems with insomnia in the past, and I do take medicine to help with my insomnia because I used to not sleep much at all, and it was to the point of affecting my everyday life. I couldn't function very well because I was not sleeping. So now I am able to sleep better, but at the time that this happened, I was still battling with insomnia. I really had problems sleeping. That's why a lot of my experiences where it was during the night when I was asleep or early in the morning, because I'd be awake until 12, 1, 2, sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning before I could go to sleep. A video I'm going to have to make for this channel and to talk about. I do struggle a lot with anxiety and depression, and that was going on at that time. I mean, I've dealt with that pretty consistently for the past like 10 years, so that was going on at the time, but other than that, not really. What is the scariest story involving demons or inhuman spirits that you have ever heard or read? Okay. Like most of my videos, I'm hilariously unprepared for this video. I did not plan on doing it. I was just planning on making a video, and I sat down and pulled this up and like, hey, let's do this one. I don't know. I really don't have a story I could pass along. My apologies. Sorry. Probably a letdown for the paranormal community because I'm not into the dark. I'm not into, like, scary stuff. Number 8. Which is the scariest movie involving demons or inhuman spirits that you have ever seen? Again, this kind of goes along with the last question. I am not a horror movie fan. Freak me out. I don't like them. I really don't. I don't like the ones involving like blood and gore because that's just nasty. And the ones that scare me the most are the ones that really mess with your mind. And like the really mind game kind of things, like Saw. No. I woke up one time in the middle of the night, and my dad, when it was like obviously when I was a kid, my dad was watching Saw, and I started crying, and he had to like comfort me, and then he like laughed at me and teased me for a while after it, but because I can't deal with that, like especially the mind game stuff. I can't. And that, I mean, I woke up in the middle of the night and it was playing. I couldn't get away from it, so I mean, it was scary. I have seen a handful of scary movies. I remember watching A Haunting in Connecticut when it came out. That scared me. I mean, to some of you, like, avid horror movie fans, you're probably like, really, Amber, that's not scary. To me, it was. That is the only movie I can recall that has made me jump and, like, really, like, holler at the point in the movie where he, like, sets up and he's, like, because he had a dream, and then he, like, looks over and there's, like, something right here. I jumped and I screamed. Also, The Ring. Actually, I heard they're making a new one. But The Ring, those really freaked me out, too. Because, you know, they're watching a movie and then, you know, the phone call, and then 7 days later, the little girl crawls out of a TV screen and, you know, I mean, that's scary. Those are the two that come to mind that actually have demons or inhuman spirits in them. I can't really think of any other ones that were like horror movies that really were on like demons or spirits or anything, and it wasn't just like some crazy psycho going after people. I'm sorry this was probably really, really disappointing for you, but I think I said in this video, my first Let's Talk Paranormal, which is what you commented this on, that I don't have a lot of like ghost stories. I'm a lot more fascinated with like aliens and like cryptids, so that's the best I have for this video. I'm so sorry that I don't have more to tell you about like dark spirits and ghosts and stuff. Again, I could give a couple secondhand stories, but I don't know if those would be as interesting because wouldn't be heavy on detail and they're from someone else. So it's the best I could do for today for that tag. I'm sorry. If you could find like an alien or like a cryptid centered tag, please let me know. I'd be happy to do that. I might have more for you. And if I was more prepared, I may have more for you, because I could find like scary story or something to tell you. I hope you and whoever else watches this video enjoys it. I'm sorry there wasn't more to tell you. But yeah, I hope you join back with me for more paranormal videos and other videos. Whatever. If you did enjoy it, please take a moment to subscribe so you can see more videos. And like, comment, all that stuff. I love you. Bye. Are we actually gonna work now? Ouch. Ah. That was question 5 anyway, Amber. What? I just said that. Oops.